There are two great resources. Certainly the Center for Teaching and Learning at Queen's has been awesome to me. And the second best resource, possibly the first best resource, is the students themselves. I do not walk into the classroom thinking, again, that I'm the oracle of knowledge. I am not. There are endless cultures in this world. I'm not familiar with them all. A student can come up to me and should be comfortable enough to say, that's not really how it works in my corner of the world. And that's awesome. I want them to be able to share it with me and the rest of the class, or even my colleagues teaching in the Smith School of Business that I can leverage to help better appreciate how business is undertaken across the world.
I mean, I love all the courses and webinars that are offered, and I try and attend as many as I can because the CTL is fantastic for coming up with the latest and greatest ideas and techniques. I would love to, and I often see a lot of the same faces there, and I wish that we had a broader community of practice that could meet and we could have teaching dilemmas, and we could have shadowing opportunities, and that we could present to each other and have ideas to build our own teaching practice and our own teaching skill. And it's, you're often set on your way. If you don't, as a person, value teaching and learning as part of your role as an academic, or if the research is first and the teaching is second, you might not prioritize it in the same way. And I really love being with like-minded people who are really committed. And again, it's not about the content. I'm interested in how they're delivering, how they're speaking to their students, how they're changing and responding to who's in their classroom as well. Because, universities are businesses and they want the best students, and they're looking globally for the best students now. So how do we make the learning at our institutions in Ontario and Canada relevant, that those students then can go back and they have relevant skills and knowledge that they can use in their home communities and countries as well?
Definitely, I feel like there's enough resources already to start, especially as a new TA, and have an idea of what we are expected to do. But then when it comes to a specific department, there's many skills that we still need to develop to be able to TA properly, I think. And something that I miss from previous years is the in-person TA training that we used to have. And that was amazing because we shared experiences among TAs. We had lead TAs run the sessions for us. At some point I became one of them, and that's how I ended up as a TA trainer as well. And I feel like this experience helped all the TAs develop these skills and at least to have an idea of what's expected to do in an engineering course, right? Besides that, I feel like there should be some time to prepare for TAing courses before the course starts, of course. And that's something that I see is always challenging. Usually, as an international student that has just arrived to Queen's and the programs here at my department, I see a lot of cases where my peers come, 1 week, and the next week they start working as a TA. So they have no idea of what to do, how to do it. There's a lot of lack of confidence in the teaching practice that they have to perform, right? So if we could avoid that by having, more time to prepare for this, or maybe avoid forcing TAs to do this kind of job right at the start of their program, then we could have more and better prepared TAs, right? In terms of the instructors, I think we could definitely ask them to communicate more and better with TAs and students about how the teaching team works in a specific course, and to run calibration so we all know how to mark, how to address issues, and so on.
The workshop offered by CTL, which promotes global engagement, helps foster this mindset. So I think this workshop should be integrated into mandatory training for all TAs and influential academics who can promote EDI in the right direction. The goal should be educating and offering ways in which to approach global engagement both inside and out of the classroom. And I'm proud to say that I am one of those.
I was thinking really hard about this question actually. And I think it goes back to my earlier response about the fact that what I really need is those actual voices, right? From in particular from global South locales who are from those locales doing the work in those locales. So for those people to be able to share if they want to, right? And what they are allowed to share with those of us doing this work in other spaces, and whatever that can look like, and being compensated for doing that work, of course, as well, right? Whether that is through, talks that they can give, workshops that they can give, asking our students to go there to learn, right? And being taught by scholars in those locales, right? And that money then going to those spaces, to those institutions, to those organizations doing that work, to those communities doing that work, and not to do it in a extractive way, if that makes sense, right? I think that's also really important. This is not the sense that the job of people in the global South is to teach those in the global North about the global South, right? This is not what I'm saying, but in terms of like it being an actual space of learning, about sharing knowledges, right? And about sharing ways of knowing.
Yeah, I think one place that would be really beneficial to start is to continue to have discussions with teaching assistants and new and old instructors really, about additional concepts when thinking about teaching, because I feel like most times as a teaching assistant you kind of start a course and it's like, this is what we want you to do, you're going to mark these assignments, and then that's kind of where it ends in terms of the discussion around instructing students and how to provide them support throughout the semester. And so I think just having more resources available to work with teaching assistants to consider developing them as instructors as well, and providing them insight into things that they can do within a course and how they can best support their students without obviously onboarding a lot of responsibility. But kind of starting in small with more so just like workshops, I think would be really beneficial. And continuing to provide a place to turn to with questions, because I think students may be interested in a lot of these topics, but they don't necessarily know. So getting the word out, and then having somewhere where they can go to follow up with those questions if they do have them. And I think the CTL does a great job of having those resources available and having workshops, but getting those, I think, more into specific faculties and spreading further into different departments would be great, because I think currently it's the people that are interested are going and seeking those out, but not everyone is necessarily readily exposed to them. So just making them more commonplace, I think, would be really helpful.
I think we have a lot of international students at Queen's. I'm myself one of them, and I in my area. Education, as an example, I bring in knowledge and understanding of or resources or systems or things like that from other places. And my worry or my concern is always about, well, what happens when the person then goes? Because that knowledge and understanding then goes as well. So I think for the university, there needs to be commitment to once engaging the wealth of knowledge that people from overseas who are coming in, not only international students, but we also have faculty members, we also have support staff who come in from everywhere around the world. It's helping to build that bank of knowledge, and not only using sort of what we know of others, but also people who are coming into the university, what knowledge they're bringing in and helping to build. I think it's a bigger conversation, and we need to engage with people. How do we not lose the knowledge that people come to us with and willingly share with us? How do we not lose that?
I actually think I have a responsibility to provide resources to my colleagues, actually, rather than saying, who's going to help me? I have to own this and say, this is something that I am doing now in my career. And so I need to encourage and provide resources. The main resource, I think, is the idea that there's a conversation going on and that we can reconstruct this history and keep it within the needs of the students and the needs of the universities. There's nothing to say you can't teach Bach, Haydn, Mozart, Brahms, Stravinsky, but you need to teach it globally, as globally engaged.